All right, welcome back to the casting closet. I am Brett Britannia Wilson, and this is Gizmo. We are back for our final round of Balance. Last game, I think, unfortunately, we won't be able to make playoffs on the back of it, but I know Team Haven have some stakes in this one. I haven't, if I'm honest, had a too close of a look at the op.gg, so maybe Gizmo, you can start us off with a top piece of analysis.
Well, I've been looking through the op.gg a little bit. It's a little bit interesting. I'm seeing three support players and three ADCs on their team, so a bit of an interesting one there. I don't think I think it's quite a hard one to choose where people are going, you know, because of it. But I've seen three Luxes in multiple lanes, so I wonder if that's going to be a pro pick in this game. Again, we're not expecting to see, you know, meta picks and stuff like this because it's more a comfort pick tournament with like sort of an average elo of about plat, maybe gold in this. So we're not expecting the highest one, but you know, seeing a lot of random picks here and there, and I'm sure it's going to be an interesting game today.
Yeah, so for a bit of context, Team Haven, I believe, are one win away, being this one game is the last game, from making playoffs over 752 Academy, who we lost to. So Team Yar, I think, unless something happens to one of the other two teams in the top, we sadly can't make it to playoffs, since playoffs is only top two. So expectations for this one's a little bit off. Like you say, it's hard to maybe read Team Haven as well. Many support players, a lot of comfort picks and other things coming out the woodwork. So it's definitely going to be of the kind of caliber we've seen maybe before. Maybe Team Yar, I know they've been a bit lax since they lost their last series. Might be able to find, with the pressure and the weights taking off, a bit of a resurgence in this game. Maybe they want to support 752, maybe they don't. We'll have to see how this one plays out. We'll also like to quickly shout out, if you've been listening to our voices so far and not instantly muted it because you're a criminal. Big thank you to HyperX who have sponsored these streams. Like I was mentioning, the audio quality has been super helped, and the fact that I can put my drink down on my table without it coming through on my mics, quite nice, although I might still try my best to get it in. So yeah, big thank you to HyperX for sponsoring these streams. If you like HyperX or you like these streams, maybe it's worth checking either one of the two out. Hopefully the streams in the future will also be sponsored by HyperX, since they've also given us the mics. I suspect it will be a long-lasting deal with them. So again, thank you to them. And of course, thank you to Valanth for hosting these tournaments. If I'm honest, I've super enjoyed working with them, and I hope people that are watching are maybe interested in joining them out, checking out their server. I don't know if it's in the information below, but you'll probably find it somewhere if you just Google it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But you know, very happy with HyperX. You know, sent me this lovely mic you can see in front of me lighting up, brilliant thing. The RGB is important, guys. Just remember that. anything with RGB works 10 times better than anything else. And HyperX, best RGB you can get. Everything, you know. Ignore the headset. You know, my headset. It's based off of HyperX. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah, I mean to get the software where you can fix the colors. It's currently on just on rotation. It is enjoyable. My mum likes it. If that doesn't sell you on HyperX product, I don't know what does.
Mum approved.
Mum approves.
So
like Kinder.
Back to the game of the league here. So hopefully these will be some great games today. I'm expecting Yar to take this 2-0. I'm sort of hoping for. The rank difference is sort of favouring us here. Unless something comes out of the woodwork that I don't know about, but I'm expecting a great mid jungle duo again, using that prio to go across the map and influence all these other lanes. And if we see that, I think it's just going to be a clean wipe.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we're not far away from draft, so gonna have to be pretty keen on this draft, like you say, to try and spot out what these clean wipes are. I believe before the cast you were talking about mid jungle synergy being a big point. I suspect maybe people watching this maybe have checked into the G2 Fnatic series, or maybe even the TSM C9. I stayed up a bit late to watch that one. I should not have gone to 5 games, but congratulations, of course, to Fnatic and C9.
Transitioning into the draft now.
Yeah, I will quickly note I'm impressed that C9 managed to win with the worst mid-jungle synergy in a best-of-5, but so maybe it's something we want to keep our eye on, but not something that's going to indicate clearly who's going to win, but at least coming out ahead.
Right, Blitzcrank, Seraphine ban. Harry playing the Seraphine in the last couple of ones. Sort of popped off on it a bit. I don't personally like the pick in the mid, but you know, it's a good flex anyway. And it's also, I mean, they banned it themselves because the other team play it, so it's quite a good one. The Blitzcrank ban, bit weird, but Kane, very strong jungler, very good early, and they in solo queue, Kane tends to do that thing where they coin flip very easily, where they take chickens, they invade, they take the chickens level 1, and then coin flip the red, and then if they get the red, then they're up so much more.
Yeah.
And then they can just snowball the game super fast. They're up 2 camps to 0, 8 CS to nothing. It's just game over at that point. So really hoping to see this go on really far. And Volibear, I have nothing to say about that champ. Just a boring champ in general. Didn't really think I'd see a ban for it, but Graves, crazy flex, mid jungle, put it wherever you want.
Yeah,
Top
especially
lane.
after those AD buffs. After, was it last patch or this patch? I'm not sure, but he's definitely come back to the forefront, perhaps.
Yeah,
maybe not as forefront as Vega, who's instantly locked in here.
Broken champ. Yeah, Grows good because of the armor pen on the 2 mythics that he picks. So very, very insane champ there. But Viego, probably just insanely broken. If you haven't played against him, just uninstall the game. It's got worse since he started playing. So yeah, Ashe Lee Sin as a response. Ashe, great ADC at the moment. Heavy poke. Slow is a bit annoying. I think there's a few more prio. There's a few more I pick above here with prio, but like safe pick, easy, reliable, good engage, and Lee Sin followed on. Good overall jungle.
Yeah, Ashe, I feel like something you're pretty much always happy to blind. I don't think it's something really being picked away from Zandiar here, but I absolutely love the volley. Watching Ashe being picked again in pro, just watching how the pros use the volley. When they reach a certain point in the lane, in bot lane, you can hit both main camps. You can pretty much spy out the entire enemy jungle, which is insane. The amount of value that volley has. Oh, sorry, the true sight shot. I've forgotten what it's called. Every time I come to cast, I forget what the abilities are called.
It's fine. It's fine. It's Ashe. She hasn't been used in ages.
It's
so
absurd how powerful that is. And of course, maybe Arbush on Lee Sin, assuming Lee Sin's going into the jungle here.
Yeah, I assume that's a Lee Sin to counter the Viego, because Viego jungle can be countered by Lee Sin. It's sort of coin flippy. Good matchup for me locked in here. But yeah, 2 biggest picks: Viego, Gwen. Crazy champions.
Yeah.
If you're new to the game, if you want to pick up any new champions, just pick up the newest release champion, and they are always broken. They release them broken, and they release them with expensive skins for about 30 quid, because they are broken. So, you know.
Well, of course, merits a ban, even, as you say, Seraphine. That's the first thing to take away. Leona, take it away for the second phase. I feel like that's probably due respect if you're playing Ashe Yumi, having something hard engaged like the Leona.
I'm surprised because he normally prioritizes an Alistair Thresh here, and we've seen them ban out the Leona, which is I haven't checked his account recently, but the last few times I haven't seen much Leona, so I think that's more of a we don't like this champion. It could be a hidden pick, but overall, I don't know if they would have played it anyway with an Ezreal. Yeah. Probably not the best.
I was going to say, I'd like to see the Thresh ban there. I think if you're going to take away supports, you're better off taking away 2 supports at the same time. Tends to be the trend with the second ban phase is you isolate a role, and then this time they're isolating the support. I think correctly to do so, taking away the Thresh if you're going to take away the Leona and Blitzcrank as well. As you say, thins down Mars's options. Other things on the cards are things like the Brawl, maybe. Perhaps not the best with Ezreal. If you're looking for more reliable engage, you've got things like the Rakan, as you mentioned already, the Alistair.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a really good team, you just first pick the Braum every time, and he just gets countered by TF every single game. But, you know, it's okay. We don't need to talk about pro games. We focus more on these games. Yeah, Ezreal's a great ADC, right? You could just roam and leave him be. The only problem with him is when you do play all in ADCs, he's not as reliable at getting out that damage as say, like, I don't know, say the Ashe, right? Where she's literally just clicking one button, following on. Whereas Ezreal, you actually have to hit skill shots. You have to have skill. That's not me flaming the Ashe player. I'm just saying that, like, the mechanics difference there. Jack's coming out. Interesting pick into the Gwen. I'm not sure his E does block any of the Gwen's auto attacks, because 2 of them are magic damage, so I don't think they do. Alistair picked up, as I said, quite a common champ for him. I'm expecting him to roam more in this game on that pick. And I think we're going to see the last pick here being the mid laner, Syndra. Good blind pick, I guess. Maybe I'd be more interested in seeing a LeBlanc here. Oh, he switched it. He switched it.
He's listening.
See that's the genius. Okay, that's my game knowledge coming in there. LeBlanc blind. Obviously, there's a lot more counters to LeBlanc, but I'm thinking skill difference here could shine through, and Lissandra picked up his response.
Well, we'll have to see if it is locked in, but it's what comes to mind when you think of mitigating matchups for LeBlanc. Of course, you can still definitely lose that matchup on Lissandra. I think Caps highlighted to me, perhaps Lissandra's doing a lot better than I thought, getting some solo kills on Lissandra. We said we're going to maybe stray away from some of the pro games, but I think it's just a good point to highlight that Lissandra isn't just necessarily a negating pick, of course, has great teamfight at setup. I'm somewhat concerned for these drafts. For Team Haven. They seem very reliant on utilizing their melee range comp. And I don't think you really want to be too close into melee range of Virgo and Gwent and Alistair.
I mean, of course, it's a CC heavy comp, right, from Haven here. Yeah. I do like the Lissandra pick here. I have played competitively with a Lissandra player, and it is a very, very good if you know the champion, right? Doing research, I haven't seen many games played on Lissandra for their mid laner, so I'm not exactly how new they are to this pick, if it is just a counter to LeBlanc or not. But anyway, either way, in team fights, the CC damage that they can do and the ability then just to self ult or ult engage is just so useful in these fights, just to lock up these picks, because you're going to have the LeBlanc Ezreal dive in it. Just those are so hard to lock down, and then you've got Viego, who, if he gets a single kill, is just going to be swapping over to someone. So you've got to CC lock him to stop him from getting these resets in these fights and just popping off. If it wasn't for how broken Viego Gwen is, I would honestly say Haven won the draft. But, you've just got two broken champions in the top side, and we know, I'm just going to play for top mid, leave bot lane on an island, and just focus on everything else. Because you don't need to sit down there, because the Ezreal's going to get solo XP, the Yumi's going to sit on the Ashel game, so she's going to be down in levels because of that, so you just send your Alistair off to roam, and I think this is going to be a Yar win here. If they realise their win conditions, play for the mid-top lane, it should be a free win, cash in, go next game.
Yeah. As we set up going into draft, I haven't really got anything to lose here, and hence I Haven definitely have something to gain out of this series. So it's up to Yard to try and upset that with the pressure off their backs of being forced to win, really. I'm quite glad to see that their draft is definitely playing to win. I mean, when you pick up Gwen and Vega, yes, both these champions are probably quite a bit of fun, but they will definitely be winning along the way. LeBlanc, of course, Harry's probably most signature pick, at least I think of.
It's definitely one of his preferred prior picks here. And I did message him before the game and tell him, come on, let's see a LeBlanc game. Okay, I haven't cast one of your LeBlanc games for a while, and it's a needed thing.
Cool. So we'll be looking forward to getting our teeth, seeing what damage she can do into this mid lane. Of course, Lissandra might have opportunity to try and mitigate that one. But
someone
as we're setting up,
someone in chat saying that Ezreal should eat in. Yes, that was that is the Viper method, and that is also the lethal tempo method. Was very insane for time beard. I will say it was also very fun to play solo queue at that time when you played with an Ezreal. They got a load of kills and then they just eat into a CC. Very fun, very fun.
Well, it does damage, so why would you want to E backwards? It just makes sense to use the Arcane Shift aggressively. When it does damage, it's just a better flash, right?
Just Arcane Shift into Nexus at that point. Just get it over with. Can't bother.
Yeah. Shouldn't really be expecting Ezreal to need much of Arcane Shift early. Alistair probably not going to be around in that lane too often either. He's going to be quite happy sitting and just absorbing the Yuumi Ash lane, I suspect.
Yeah, there's a lot of poke from that lane, right? It's going to be hard. Personally, if I was the Ezreal, I'd maybe take the TP here, just to be able to get back to lane when there's problems, because you're gonna have the Yuumi, who has pretty much a point and click Q. It's not, but let's be fair, the amount you can move it around pretty much is. You've then got Ash's W that just can hit you from any which way. And
yeah,
I think he's gone the exhaust. That's an interesting pick there.
I don't hate it. If you imagine Lissandra, Lee Sin, and Jax are all trying to get into melee range of you, being able to drop the exhaust, making sure that he's either not dropping you or your front line too quickly. I don't hate the idea of exhaust here. Of course, for lane, I'm a little bit more concerned for. But of course, if you're worst case scenario, you're dueling 2v2 with the Ashe and Yuumi, just drop the exhaust on Ashe, and a lot of that damage output's mitigated, right? Because Yuumi only has poke. She's not really a team fighting champion outside of the zoomies.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know, because if you're Ezreal here, if your Elsa is just going to roam around the map the whole time, you're going to be left alone, and the exhaust isn't going to help you if they do force the 2v2, really, because I feel like, I don't know, because if they're going to go super aggressive in this bot lane, it could turn out well for them, but it's going to be interesting either way. The fun thing to notice is Lissandra going Barry here, really scared about this LeBlanc, really lacking the ability to cross map, and that is something I'm sure we're going to see a lot, where LeBlanc is going to be able to TP to bot lane and top lane, make these plays happen, and Lissandra's just going to have to sit there pushing this wave out, not knowing what hit her.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how that one develops. As we are onto the Rift, our win conditions, I believe it seems there may have been a pause, as I'm onto the Rift, but I'm currently stuck in 0 seconds. Oh, it seems we're on the better side of it. But yeah, here we are. On to the Rift, assuming you are as well.
Yep, I am, and this time I believe it is actually being casted this time, so, you know, great.
Just making sure that we're alive.
Great to see. I've messed that up once or twice, but hey, this will be all good. Be interesting to see the path. I'm expecting Lee to start red, Viego to start red, and just them split go the other side of the map, right? Lee playing for this bot side, Viego playing for the top side. I think it'd be fun to see the Viego go for this red. Or are we just going to see a dance party here?
Yeah, well, this is the start of our action for game 1 of the day. Team Yat on blue side, Team Haven here on the red. Got a little bit of dancing, spinning around. Bit of breakdancing here from Lee Sin. He puts his...
I mean, we're playing League of Legends, not Zumba, guys. Come on. I mean, that Viego bad mannered then. Attacking someone who's dancing. Very rude, very rude.
Do you think that's a winning mental if you break the dancing, or is it winning mental if you take the attack without?
I think if you take the attack without tilting, I think you're the winner there, because you stood your ground, you did your battle cry, you know. Well, Lee Sin going towards the blue side here. I guess he is pathing to match this top lane jungle path. Don't know if that's intentional, but I think it's the correct play here.
So 3 minutes tends to be around the time that junglers end up on the top side, assuming they're not going to return to full clear.
I should turn the sound up for in-game, because I play with very low sound, guys.
I also do the same, but you'll definitely not miss it if something happens in top lane, as we were expecting, maybe around the 3 minute mark, when both these junglers are likely to be around in this top lane. There's potential, of course, for something to happen to mid lane, but between Lissandra and LeBlanc, both of these are somewhat difficult.
Can clear the ward. That is important. Oh, the bush control here. That is very important there for an Alistar, especially into a poke lane here. I wonder if he's going to look for this heavy engaged level 2. That's probably the play.
Yeah, level 2 is the power spike for Alistar. It's not too much of a champion level 1. Thank God he's playing against Yuumi. Against other supports, he really struggles with these levels.
They did get
Ashe,
it.
of course, going to do fine mark. Hit the level 2 advantage, but not going to be in the right place to make much use of it. Oh, we're going to flash straight and engage here with the ignite and headbutt. Ashe dropping like Barret used to get out of here, as well as the heal from Yuumi. So 2 summoners for 1, plus the Hex Flash enabled. So yeah, Hex Flash enabled is pretty much a plus, and then Ignite traded for Heal and Exhaust. We take those. Got pressure in the early wave as well, and I assume they are aware that at least started bot side, so this bot lane should be happy to push in this wave for a good time.
I wonder if he's going to channel it here, try and push him off this wave. I think it's an okay trade here, but you didn't get the Ashe's Flash. You cost your ass to the Flash, and now he's just going to have to wait on the Hex Flash all the time. I think if he'd moved up earlier when it was actually level 2 minions, he could have done it. So for anyone who doesn't play bot lane, if you get the first wave, the first three minions, that'll get you level 2. So what happened there was Alistar backed off slightly when that was about to happen. If he just positioned a bit further up, he probably could have burnt a lot more, maybe the Ashe's Flash.
Does getting the ward change that? Because they got the early ward. I'm not sure. I know it changes in the other lanes, but if it's shared, I'm not 100% convinced that the ward
doesn't change it. it helps with backline minions, but not front.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens to the backline here, as Lee Sin's just getting absolutely dropped as Lissandra first to the play. Alistair's already made his way back here from that early basis. We've seen Lissandra's going to be headbutt, pulverized, and Sonic waved by the Lee Sin. Psych, it's Viego. Psych, it's Lissandra. Psych, it's going to be on the Scuttle Crab as well, so this is a great start here for Slinic.
Yeah, Lissandra knew she was dead there, no sunburnt. At that play, you know, very well played by LeBlanc there, landing the chain straight away. Really stopping this Lee from being able to do any damage before he even went in and landed the Q. So a great play there, netting gold there, and, you know, 2 kills.
Yeah.
LeBlanc, Viego, the 2 targets you need.
Yeah, and we set it up in draft that this top side is the winning side for Team Yar here. Gwen, Viego, and LeBlanc being very aggressive matchups, very powerful champions at the moment, as we talked about in the draft. And of course, getting them ahead with the winning 2v2 is going to be hopefully super impactful. It's now in the court of Team Haven to make sure that this doesn't snowball out of the way. But with Lissandra,
Ezreal's got a nice freeze here, I believe. So that's gonna really help here. I think Alistair should step up into that bush in front and then really just pressure going straight in on this, because that should be a freeze. And if she lands a couple of volleys, she might break it. So
yeah, Alistair cashing in on the cannon here. Of course, they got that early back, which allowed Alistair to be in the top lane or the top river to make sure that that's going to go their way. Ezreal gets the early tier just to make sure he's going to scale a little bit faster towards that Manamune. Just going to, as you say, enable this free. He's going to miss out a couple of the minions, but they're hiding around here. Hex Flash channeled. Alistair's in a good position behind to knock.
Oh, nice
Great flash here from Ash, just to make sure that there's no follow-up. CC Vega not going to find anything for his time there. Just going to continue to move on.
Oh,
great stun here by Lissandra. Make sure that LeBlanc isn't going to too much run away with that one. At least that trade. Now, rocking the double buffs, I would hate to be in Lissandra's position, but here's the re-engage here in bot lane. Pulverize and Headbutt used here to lock out the Ash and Exhaust, but it's not going to get her way out of the stun. And there goes now in the vicinity as well, just going to throw in a couple of Mystic shots and a couple of the Borks, the Blade of the Ruin Kings into the face of Ash, and Yumi's just going to have to walk away from there. No bonus 300 gold, this time from the Yumi, but still a nice 300 gold, this time picked up by the Ezreal.
Yeah, it's sad to see that. You know, the Ezreal set up a great freeze there, and the Ash knew that Viego was nearby, but he has to walk up to contest the wave, and sometimes it's worth just sacking off a couple of waves, calling your jungler down, trying to get that resolved. But in the end, he tried to bluff it, walk up, take some minions, but instantly just gets collapsed on. Very well played.
Yeah, great punish there from Yar, recognizing their window, making sure that they get the most out of that opportunity.
Well, he did a great recovery there. He went in, took a couple camps from top side. Obviously not preferred over a kill, but it's the only thing you can do to recover.
Yeah, make sure you're not falling behind. As the Ice Tomb is used here onto LeBlanc, just going to be happy to trade that for a Corrupting Potion, to be honest, and that now enables her a lot of pressure. You can see Viego and Alistair already on their way, knowing that Lissandra is without ult. I suspect something will be happening. Opportunity for Hex Flash behind Lissandra, assuming she doesn't react in time. But
someone's been watching all the cards.
This Lissandra.
Oh, you felt the flash.
Please
knock him.
Lissandra's going to get ignited and locked up here. Lee Sin makes his way into the place, but he's going to find himself outnumbered and outmanned, so he's just going to dash his way back under that tower. Ezreal quite happy just to sit up here. Arcane shifts forwards, getting that damage in. Not making his way quite to the Nexus as of yet. But making sure Ash doesn't feel too comfortable, just shoving him in under here.
Yeah, great.
He has some advantage.
Not nice flank there by the Alistair. At the end of the day, I don't know if the LeBlanc needed that to finish off the kill, but they nearly got the Lee Sin on the back end, so pretty well played. Other than the fact that he missed the Hex Flash over the wall, but we didn't see that. We didn't see that.
I'll admit I missed that one. I got a bit confused. I thought I had fallen behind when you said he failed the flash. Maybe the Ash or Lissandra failed the flash or something, so I tried to catch up. My mistake, but as you're saying, yep, still super cleanly played, barring the failed Hex Flash.
Luckily it was a Hex Flash, right? But, you know, when you face plant that hard, it still hurts. Luckily he has Flash here, so you can just go onto this Ash pretty soon. I believe Ezreal's going to hit 6 quite soon because of the rooms. So this could be a good timing to look for an engage.
Yeah, it should be the next couple of minions gets him here. Vega's also in the vicinity yet again. Lee Sin's on his way down, it seems, but it looks like he's more interested in his camps. The director camera's going to take us away.
And Vega spotted.
Vega spotted here by the Hawk Shot. I remember what it's called. Nice and simple. Vega going to yield himself a ward for his trouble. Vision for vision.
Take it.
We take those. Lee Sin now in the vicinity, aware of the issue.
The wave is pushing bot. Lee Sin can just wait and just pick it up on the outside, but in the meantime, Drake's been started here. And
yeah, with the mid priority LeBlanc has, this Drake's going to be melted as you. Before I rudely cut you out, mid priority here, you're going to heal yourself. So Drake, Lee Sin, unable to get anything out here. Just a short window to cover, but he's going to miss out on some of his timer. Very good being able to catch up in CS, as you say.
Trying it. Non-stop.
Fishing for opportunity in the mid lane. Lissandra having some good respect.
I mean,
sure
you've got to be feeling yourself to go with the Dark Seal here. You know, LeBlanc Dark Seal. I'm liking it. I think he's is he opted into Leandris here on LeBlanc? Dive started.
Oh, we have a dive. We've got the TP coming in here as well. Alistair going to be taking this one up. Ash going to be surviving for some time here. Heartbreak is not going to be enough to drop it, but LeBlanc's found her way in here on the back of the teleport. The arcane true shot finds its way onto 2. Lissandra's now arrived in here, and here's the Frozen 2 going to lock this one up with the Frozen Foul on the backside. That's 3 for 1 so far as the dive seemed to be well played, but Haven in the right places at the right time, able to respond correctly to that one.
It's a terrible showing. Alistair not being 6 there, unable to take too many tower shots there. Engaged slightly too soon without the Ezreal being close enough. He had to eat in to even be able to be in auto attack range, and they were able to get 1, but what was it?
So long.
1 for 2, 1 for 3. Sorry, really just a poorly executed dive that was read perfectly by Haven.
Yeah, and between the additional summoners and heals that Yumi brings, it took quite a while to get that Ashe down, so she was able to get that trade kill back, and of course, that's time for the other members to get out of there. So TP spent on the side of Team Yara as Harry jumps in here for a little bit of damage. I'm going to find too much else, and Vega finds his way into the top side. So yeah, maybe biting off more than they can shoot does Yara. Invests quite a bit into that play. So Haven grabbing back some of this gold. Still about a K behind. Ocean Soul to note as well. It's quite impactful early. So the gold lead, whilst it is not immense, that Ocean Drake will mean something for pretty much the rest of the game. So there is invisible gold here on this scoreline. Speaking of gold, well, there's an arrow that just flew by all the way up to topside. Going to spot them out here. Didn't connect with anyone, but that is again mid lane priority, and Alistair roaming up at good times here. We did highlight the fact that Alistair's probably going to spend so much time in this bot lane, and as you can see, Ezreal quite happy. Oh, even with the CS lead at this point. Oh, we've got a TP flank here from Gwen. Gwen having a silent game so far. We'll have to see what she can do in this spot lane. Going to find the snips out here. Ash no arrow, remember, and the final chapter is going to be the final chapter read here by Ash. Going to have to give some final words here for the cat as well. Sat on the grave. It's a bonus 600 gold here for the Gwen. Well worth jeeping down to pick that one up. Vega's going to catch that top wave as well, so no XP being missed. Cassandra forced her back as well, so this is play yielded in the mid lane for LeBlanc as well, as Leeson's just going to watch this one fall. There it goes. So big wins for Yara across the board. I was about to say it's Hentai Haven's turn to make a play, having just received that play in the bot lane, but it's Yara Undeterred picking up the action yet again, and that's, as I said, 600 gold here for Gwen.
That's a great way to accelerate.
Something here onto Ash, as you say. Great way to accelerate is Alistair accelerates his way. Oh god, the double distortion damage here, plus the ignite from LeBlanc just means that Ash simply does not exist. Sat quite sadly now at 1 of 4, being super hard punished. We expected it to be a topside focused game, looking at this draft, and whilst the 2v2 is definitely winning in this topside, is CS ahead despite TPing all the way down to bot lane. It's been somewhat a bit bot focused, or at least mid focused.
Yeah,
Ash sit here at 1 of 4. It's a bit unusual. We've got a bit more of a scrap for the TP coming in here. The Herald not quite getting the tower, but gets most of the play. Alistair going to mitigate the TP in here from Jax. The Asher going wide. Headbutt just going to make sure it doesn't go in, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to get locked up here. Oh, already popped. It's not going to be enough to keep him alive. I don't think there's enough damage here between the Lee Sin and the Lissandra and everyone else. Frozen Tomb used for good measure. Make sure the Alistair doesn't get out. So most of the play, and not quite the tower there for Yar in exchange for, well, Alistair.
Yeah, but Gwen picks up a lot on the top side here for that, and I mean, is there a need to stop saying, can we stop these dives, please? Luckily that one they got the Ashe just beforehand, and the Alistair goes down afterwards, but I think that the dives need to be stopped. I will say, surprisingly, even though Ezreal had that way frozen for so long, the gold lead, well, the CS lead has only recently just increased, and it's quite a surprise, really. Well, the Alistair has been roaming the whole time, but you can tell the XP lead is showing, even though...
Yeah. If you pull your eyes across the board, I don't know how visible it is on the stream sometimes, but we have pretty much a level advantage for Yar across all of the board. The only exception being Alistair, who's been outside of this lane. Yumi can't really do that by herself. Speaking of by himself, Lee Sin seemed to be alone, but there's an Ashe and a Yumi just behind him, losing time in that lane to make sure that the jungler is okay. Going to be fishing for a little something here. Finds his way onto Alistair. Going to take that Sonic Strike to connect, but Headbutt's going to pull him out. There you go now. In the worst way here. He's going to get final chapped. Just about locked up. Going to find his way into the Miss LeBlanc. Has an angle here to play with. Ezreal's going to arrive here from the base as well. Freshly bought on some items. Going to make good use of that. Putting it into Lee Sin. LeBlanc going to put it into the face of Ashe as well.
I mean, look at the healing already. Here. We have a lack of healing reduction, and it's showing. Look at that. All the damage they've just done to the Ashe has just been wiped off from the LeBlanc, and that's got to feel rough. Alistair caught.
I was thinking of feeling rough. Alistair, as you say, getting caught here, going to get locked up. Not going to drop too fast here. Does pop the ult out in time, and that's no ult hit from Lissandra. Spent it on the Alistair yet again, and the members here from Yar are going to chase this one down. They do spot out Jax on the way as well, but he's too far away. Yuumi and Ashe too far away as well. Lissandra just going to pull everyone as far away as possible. So he's probably going to look to use the claw just to get over these walls here. I don't know how far he's going to get, but this should be the second drink here for Yar, winning out a scrap in the river, despite the lack of previous wins. Just saying, unable to get the second activation there as the passive runs out there from Vego. Chains connect here onto Jax, going to dodge away here from the counter strike. No issue there as the Jake's picked up from Yar.
Infernal Drake coming up. This will be it's a nice map for I think for our team, for Yar. I think this is probably a nice map, and considering how much damage that they need to keep this team comp going, it's going to work great for them. You know, they want to get these resets on the Viego, and if they can get Infernal Soul, it's perfect for them here. I will say in that last team fight,
lost ahead as well. Sorry, go for it.
In that last team fight, Alistair living with such a small amount of HP really did well to interrupt the Lee during his Q. That stops all the damage, so that's very useful. And Lissandra missing his Q, also very useful as well. So.
Maybe some Yar fans on the side of Enterhaven, perhaps, as this game is very much in the favour of Yar here, as Gwen's going to be looking to take out this tower, drops the Hello Miss, and drops the E just for a bit of a attack. We could get some stiffs in here, just to absolutely obliterate Jax down to half. The Riftmaker doing its bloody well work here. Collected Steel Cast, making sure that Gwen is not in too much threat either. Harry's arriving just in case with the teleport, just to make sure Jax doesn't get to back too close.
I mean, that's just
wait to receive this wave.
That's just Jax being a champion that was made on release, and Gwen being a champion that was made like 3 weeks ago. Like, you know.
Oh, she was nerfed at level 1. Calm down, man.
Oh yeah, that nerf really
sure. Find his way onto LeBlanc, no matter which way she goes, but she jumps back again, connects the second chance. Gwen's hit just to make a little bit more action, but Lissandra is also hit. So the second cast of Distortion's up. That's cooldown's not a problem whatsoever, as Lee Sin's going to be dropped. Lissandra finds her way in a 1 versus 2. Her ult not quite back up yet, or at least the frozen tomb's already been used. And there's the third Distortion from LeBlanc, going to find himself a double kill. And the mid jungle here suffering really to the gold lead that Yar have, and the pressure and the just man advantage they keep bringing into this top side.
I think that 3-0 is 2-0 is going to come through here. I mean, 7 stacks in LeBlanc. Pretty much each round of rotations that she puts out onto this Lee Sin just well, it took two rounds, but like at this point that's scary, you know.
Yeah.
And pretty soon that's just going to be one rotation. Instant pop on Lee Sin. And you're talking about 3... No, sorry. I read it as 7, not level 10 Lee Sin. Even level, but still, that's frightening at this point.
So. Yeah, he's going to be relying a lot on that second item, but it doesn't seem like he's going to get to it very easily if Yar have their way with them. And again, we're somewhat threatened by the idea of Yuumi on some of these melee hyper carries like Lee Sin.
But we're still not seeing any
Jax. But if they're getting one shot, it doesn't matter about the healing reduction. Maybe that's the plan. Harry looking for maybe something unplanned for here onto Jax, as Vega's going to start this rift out. Alistair going to find the Lee Sin, going to put him over the wall for him. Ashe is going to find no mark yet again. I don't think I've seen a single one of these connect as of yet. I have to keep track of those. The volley going to find members here in the river. I don't know if they can find their way onto it. It's stolen here by Lee Sin as Arbish finds his way onto that Herald of the Sonic Strike, going to smite it up, but the fight's going to come back on the back end of it. Jax going to be locked up as the front target here. Distortion forward, not going to find anyone as Jax flashes away. Lee Sin going to find the safeguard over the wall here as well. Gwen looking for something a little extra, but we're burnt pretty much here on ults, and the distance is too great for Yar to get. Going to suffer losing the Rift Herald here. That's a great staunch play to stop the bleeding here from Haven. They're able to find Herald onto any of these
they didn't pick it up. They're going to be
suffering.
They got it, but they couldn't pick it up. Lee Sin just got it with the cube, but he couldn't reconnect in, so he couldn't get it. Unfortunate play there, and I don't know if it was worth them just trying to flip after that for the 4v5, because you knew that Alistair was too low to join the fight. They'd burned a lot of CDs trying to get that Herald and trying to stop you from being able to contest, and you're sitting there with most sums up, most ultimates up. You could have probably opted into that fight.
And I believe most of the members had completed the mythics that you see on the board at the moment as well, so perhaps that was their best time to try and close this gap before the second items start coming through here for Yat. Still a good job making sure that Herald doesn't go the way of Yat, just to protect these towers, so... probably the next fight's going to be at this Drake in a minute's time.
I'm a little bit intrigued by the LeBlanc building into MR, into that team comp, when you've literally just got the Lissandra damage. I understand the tenacity, but continuing it on after that, maybe it would have just been nicer just to go for full damage. Maybe make these combos just pop a bit more, you know?
Yeah, could do. Banshee's, of course, not hurting too much in damage, but it's not going to give you as much oomph as another arrow goes wide, it seems. I'm just watching it fly across the minimap as I was checking. But yeah, as you're saying, maybe something... I don't know if people really go Horizon Focus second or something like Abyssal. Can obviously do a lot more, especially if you put it just straight death cap.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
I don't hate the Veil passive here. If you're going to face... or if you're going to headbutt yourself into an Ashe, you don't really want to get arrowed. I'm sure she can't miss that one. Unless Charmander not been too impactful on this Ashe, but of course has been heavily punished in this lane, sadly.
I also just eating these Lee Sin Qs every time. I don't know if it's on purpose just to stop him from hitting the backline, but we're going to see an engage here. Gwen going
Here's
in.
Here's the engage as Gwen putting the needles into the enemy team as Ashe is absolutely obliterated, but here is Lee Sin on the backside trying to find an insect. I don't think it's going to get too much as the Heartbreaker starts coming in from Vega. Is he going to find these resets? These members are already low between all the damage and the healing that they have. Alistair going to be caught up here in the mix of it as well. Lee Sin trying to find his way out. Lissandra just about escapes, but all the members are here now looking for this. Lee Sin's going to flash away, trying to maybe connect a Sonic Strike onto the wave. He's not going to get the opportunity. Yumi's going to be picked up on the backside as well, just running, pulling away from the dragon, but that dragon is now inevitable as much as that fight was.
Send one to Drake, go Baron. Ezreal can solo it, and you guys just go Baron. No?
It looks like they thought about it as they were trying to catch that wave, all four of them. So we're going to be late staring out this dragon. It seemed a bit mix of a call, maybe a little bit relaxed, as I said. They are coming into this match.
I don't know. I think them all in and just stay at the Baron here could have been more fun, because you still have Lee Sin. He's probably going to make his way to the Drake straight after, so he probably could have recontested Drake and maybe got something a bit more, you know. I like the XP from Baron can really change this game and help them extend and get this game over with probably, you know, a 30-minute, 25-minute sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to hold on for those couple minutes more as Yar look to reset on the back of that one fight. Of course, still flexing a massive god lead, now stretched all the way up to 8k. They've probably just going to wait out to see what they can do or try to fight around this Baron. I don't think they want to wait any later. Ideally, maybe if they can find something on their own turf, maybe if they find an arrow on a member caught out, they can start to peel back some of these bounties, these prize cards in their hands, and make sure they have more aces to play with. But for now, they're just waiting for Yar, I think, to make these plays. Lee Sin trying to catch, and Ashe trying to scrap around the jungle, trying to scrap around these lanes for a little bit of farm.
Yeah, Haven's
drafted too far out.
Haven's drafted a team fight comp, right? But they're drafting from last year. They just didn't notice the new champions and just really ignored it all. So. They still have the pick potential on these champs, but we're seeing Gwen go in super aggressive.
I'm sure they're aware of them now as Jax just gets cut to half by the scissors there from Gwen. Heartbreaker over the wall is going to follow Lee Sin, and Alistair finds an engage straight over the wall, and that's the first reset for Vega. That's the first arrow also to connect. Congratulations there as the Mark finds his way onto 2. I think that's a failed shift over the wall here. And there's the Banshee's Veil locking up away from the last chapter. Block flashing away does find the last sigil there onto Lissandra. Going to enable Gwen and Vega and the crew to follow up.
Give me ult.
Final chapter pop just to deny maybe too much of a dive here as Jack's just going to very warily walk into this jungle. Sound towards it, trying to go steal away this red. He hasn't really got too much loose. Does succeed in getting that 100 gold. Congratulations there to Jax. Celebrate that one in the chat. As Harry's looking for a little bit more here, he's going to find an Ashe. Just going to get a little bit of a chain and remind her that she cannot step into this jungle. She cannot get anywhere near this Baron. Or otherwise, they can see this one go by. I don't think they can contest it.
Harry going against
another
it
double
again.
Distortion pops the shield boat immediately, and they electrocute. Not going to be enough here as well. That's Baron here, but yeah.
I understand the Banshee Veil, but see, if you just went a bit more damage, that would have just been her dead the first time round, you know. And obviously, you know, she's now building into the magic resist because she's scared of this. But you need to go the magic pen, really. You need. Void staff would be my pick instead, really, and he is building into it. Christ, he must be listening in, I guess.
Big fan of the void staff myself. I tend to build it second on most mages. I tend to go, although I do mostly play around these days. If I would be playing Zoe, It's probably why I'd lean to enormous voice staff. It's probably my choice of second item.
It's not like he's struggling for gold here, and he's got 10 stack
sure.
measures, so he's gonna be doing damage, but he could be doing a lot more.
More damage. Yeah. Why settle for less?
I mean,
why settle for some damage when you can go to all damage?
I'm a man who likes more damage, right? That's why I play brand support. You know,
you're listening to ADA a bit, then, have you?
Yeah. I just always want
more damage. Because Gwen looking for more damage here onto Jax. Just going to throw out the 1,000 cuts just to clear the way.
Is Gwen ulti used?
It is an ulti and an opportunity, but it looks like we are going to meet first use of this opportunity as she does get the Frozen Tomb off, but it's not on who she wanted. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference either. Some fine reactions, but Sandra going to find herself.
Yeah, that's going to be them not knowing the hotkey, right? If you ult it's self casts. If you don't know that at home, just remember ult ability, self cast, control ability, level up. It's the important things. Maximize what you're doing. You know, where your mouse is and stuff like that. It saves you time.
And time being saved here is they're going to try and get the inhibitor, but looks like they're going to waste. That's the second arrow here, connecting this time onto LeBlanc. No badge available for that one. Alistair going to be locked up, but pops the pulverizer. Great insect hit, finds LeBlanc on to the back line of the other members, going to try and catch this one up. Going to double distortion way out of here. Sonic Strike does not connect either. Alistair going to try and buy some space for LeBlanc. She can't make it out. That's a 1,000 gold shot down here for Lee Sin, but the Ezreal has now arrived on the back end of it. Vega's going to get some of these resets. Gwen's found her way into this fight as well. The 1,000 cuts is already back up. You said it was down, but it's up by the time this fight is found its second round. Lee Sin just going to scrap out of there after the back of Gwen's double kill. It's going to take his 1,000 gold and try to reset onto this tower. Alistair looking for something maybe here onto Yumi or onto Lee Sin. Going to flash. Pulverize to stop this back here from Lee Sin. Going to stop him from stopping this onslaught of Yar as they find their way onto the tower. Yumi sat here onto Jax. Going to just really watch as these two cannon Baron buff minions going to work away. I don't think he's going to be able to find anything here. But the jump in.
Focus tower, guys. Focus tower.
Look at the tower. Get the tower. Yeah. As Haven going to make their last ditch attempt here. Lee Sin finds his way in with Yumi on. But it's not going to be too much. Ash is back up, but what can she do? I don't think it's going to be enough as the Nexus has already found its way onto a quarter. Lee Sin, it's Vega is going to find his way onto his own teammate members. Going to get another reset here. Is going to find his way onto the last remaining Ash member. Lissandra going to get some damage here onto Ezreal. The Nexus down to half. Ezreal with the Divine Thunder is doing so much damage and so much healing here at the same time. Yumi going to be the last one standing, well, floating around on her book, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough to stop Yar from taking this first game, and that's GG's for Yar in game one.
Haven opting into these fights, you know, you got to think about it. Why are they going in now? You know, they've had so long to transition into these fights. They've drafted a team fight comp, didn't team fight for 20 minutes, and then we're like, yes, this is, I see our opportunity here going into it. Yes, we shall now fight once we've lost our inhib, and we'll just go on Nexus. And like, they were so close to winning those fights, and you know, they got the pick on LeBlanc, they got the massive shutdown, they didn't get the chance to reset to spend that gold, but it was getting closer and closer. And I mean, if they started fighting early, I think they could have really done a bit more in that.
And maybe that comes back to, like you're saying, the TP being able to match some of these plays. Harry making his way all over the map, and Mars as well, Jamie BBK. Definitely very impactful on this Alistair pick. And as you're saying, right, they had this teamfight composition, but never did we really see the teamfight before. Is already lost her a little bit behind. You can argue that's, again, an issue of the draft, right? Unable to find leads early, and then the champions, they are very vocal about them they have these strong champions with strong early gains, with strong amounts of gold in their pockets, and that's a strong snowball they're able to yield out that one.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure just came from mid lane mostly, right? And that transitioned into the jungle. Top got that TP bot that killed the Yumi and the Ashe, which is just more money. Putting that on the Gwen, and then just becomes just a free lane for her in that top side. But yeah, overall, I think it's just that Haven drafted a team comp that hasn't been that doesn't work into this comp at all, because it's a draft from like 30 patches ago, where last season you had heavy CC team fights. That was the whole meta. You heal, you push mid, you roam, right? But Lysandra was a fine pick mid, but you just didn't do enough with it. You didn't take the TP. You took the Comet to try and win lane. You lost lane even with the Comet. Maybe it's better to go into the... Maybe you want to go tanky to last in these team fights, or maybe go the Electrocute to try and win mid a bit more. But overall, I mean, it's just a draft diff, right? And even though I thought that they would be focused more on this on the mid top lane priority, it ended up being Yar's bot lane that got a lot more of a showing than I was expecting, with Ezreal being able to freeze it for a long time, and then seeing a lot of plays put around that freeze, and I was happy to see it. And
yeah, just great. I guess coordination here from Yar. Like as we expected, maybe you would expect it to be played topside, but instead with the opportunities that Zandiar were able to set up in bot lane, they're able to put 1 and 9 bot lane combined, Ashe and Yuumi behind. I don't think Yuumi, if I check here, yeah, Yuumi didn't even complete the tribute, her support item. Sat here on 4,900 gold, didn't even get a mythic either. So the bot lane was incredibly far behind, and the shield bow, by the time that LeBlanc found a way onto Ashe, just simply wasn't enough to keep her alive.
Yeah, do you think drafting the Yuumi Ashe was a bad decision into this, because they just picked a farming bot lane, and then they just picked for mid game, and they just lost early game. So they need to pick aggressive lanes. I feel like they were just sitting back going, well, we'll scale into mid game, but there's no point scaling into mid game if by that time you've given over a 5k gold lead, and you're sitting back going, don't worry guys, we scale to the mid, and then the mid game it comes to mid game and you're like, they're just getting one shot. You know, it's understanding where you need to play to get to that mid game, because at the moment Yara just walking all over him, right?
Yeah, I think for me, I'd see something other than Yuumi. I think the Enchanter in this scenario is fine. Maybe something like the Janna, or something that can actually interact with an Alistair, maybe Roam as well, because as soon as you lock Yuumi, you know you're locked into that lane as well.
Yeah, you can go,
and the Alistair just had a free time roaming around. Ezreal was able to go unpunished.
You need stuff that would stop the Alistair engage, right? Because they had no way to stop the Alistair engage. And I mean, though he did flash into a wall a few times, the Alistair was on point, not getting those knockups at times. So really, you need a support that can really block those. And if you are going to go the Enchanter route, maybe go like the Lulu to get the polymorph off, or you go the Janna to get the knockup, because you can just put it down whilst he engages, so he doesn't actually get the full combo off and stuff like that. You just need disengage to stop him, right? And at the moment, I don't know what they play to counter that, because based off their champion pool that I've seen very briefly, it's all their enchanters that they play don't really have engage. They're just there, like they play like they're playing like Lux support, Seraphine. Seraphine can land a massive art ulti, but they just banned it out. So like then where do you go? You go to the Lux, right? If the Alistair goes in, if you don't get comboed, you can just root him at the end, but he's just going to ult and get rid of the root. So it's like, where do you go on then? So I think you need to transition into a tanky support, try and match the Alistair, or at least be able to punish the Alistair for roaming. Maybe get rid of the Ezreal, make him go on a less mobile ADC, so you can actually do these dives and counter it, because that Ezreal had free time to farm, whilst the Alistair was too busy roaming around the map, flashing into walls. So you need to be able to stop these sort of things. And I will say, good job to the Alistair. He's been watching Olicopter, definitely. But the angles that he was looking for very, very well. I think we're going to... do you want to take a 5-minute break before we go into the next game?
Yeah, we can do. So for everyone watching, we'll probably take, as you said, maybe 5 minutes. I doubt it'll be too long, since we've talked most of the break. I assume the players have taken. We'll probably join you straight back into draft, and we can see what draft differences, as we've set up, and hopefully game differences Haven can bring to the table, to make sure that y'all don't run over them quite so hard as previous games. So we'll be right back. Hi, and welcome back to the EsportsWales channel. You are joining us just ahead of the second game of Team Yar versus Haven. Last game was a bit of a diffy all-roundy, perhaps. Team Yar definitely coming out ahead, swinging in draft, in early game, and there wasn't really much more of a game outside of that. So it's now in the court of Haven to make sure that they give themselves the right amount of tools to be able to combat the early game from Yar. We're looking to do this, of course, in the draft because that's where the game really starts. As though there is a bit of mental warfare, it seems, going on in the chat.
Yeah,
it's see that.
Yeah, I haven't got it on because some of the stuff is just too. It's a bit too far, right? But at the same time, it's making me tear up because it's so funny, some of the stuff. But we'll just call it friendly banter.
It's a polite exchange as the team seems to be ready, so we should be jumping into draft in just a second. Before we jump to break, we talked about probably the support being one of the more significant picks is bot lane. Contrary to expectation from draft, was really the point of attack. So I'll be curious to see what Haven do. They have opted into blue side this time, so they're going to be look to utilizing this first pick. So we'll be curious to see what they prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, well, that says a lot, doesn't it? LeBlanc straight away.
We got one in.
Okay, they do not want to give over that Viego. Very, very good idea, but
yeah, it makes sense. Vega, of course, very much influential in that first game. With the first pick available, perhaps you don't want the pick of Vega, so you're going to take it away yourselves. Leaves open some of the other picks that you've taken away before, things like the Seraphine. Again, the other kinds of enchanters we talked about before.
I mean, Viego can be countered, right? But you think it normally gets countered by CC. But last game, Haven had every champ with a form of CC, and they still couldn't lock down a Viego. So I don't know if it was just the dodgy Lissandra ults on the Alistair with ult or what, but we'll see how it goes. And I guess they are scared of the Seraphine because they do have three members that play on a team of Haven. So just get that out of the way. Yeah, I wonder if they're just going to ban out every champ. Is the next one going to be Ezreal or Alistair? Just go for a new comp completely. Come on. Just ban every champ. Just come on. I mean, all we need is Alistair Ezreal, and we've just banned out the Yar team as the Blitz. Yeah, they were definitely saying about the Blitz in the chat beforehand. Some people not very happy that they didn't get to play that. Not saying
not to name any names.
Obviously, it's Blitz top, but.
Well, yeah, all these bans are topside bans.
Yeah.
Lee Sin being taken away as well. We've pinched the support bot, and our first priority pick on the board is Varus. If you've learned anything from C9 Sven, it's because they couldn't decide between two other picks that they just panic locked Varus in one of their drafts.
I mean, it's a great pick. Great champ. Hopefully they should go poke Varus here. It's the more common build nowadays. On hit maybe if they go a bit tankier, but I'm expecting poke Varus, and he should do pretty well into the Ezreal lane because, Varus Q outranges Ezreal with E,
Yeah, and the spike of Dirk comes online a lot sooner than Ezreal, who tends to peak really as a complete Divine Sundry. I mean, Zinzao locked in here for Slinny is a big pick as well. So
yeah, we've seen a Zinzao before, haven't we? I mean, it is an insane pick for him, and someone's very excited because they've just noticed that their one pick, Zyra, has been locked in. The Zyra player, very happy. Do you want to tell us something about that pick and why it's important here?
Yeah, it's important because Zyra absolutely sucks at the moment. If any of my friends are listening, they know I whinge and I complain and I whine all the time that Riot doesn't buff Zyra, despite the fact it's got like a 48% win rate, and they'll buff Lee Sin, who had like a 51% win rate beforehand. But Riot, Zyra doesn't really sell skins, but they keep releasing prestige skins for her and everything. But she's super fun. I love it. I somewhat concerned because I believe Mystic Shots, as long as Ezreal has a shield, will one-shot any plant that she puts on the board. But I just love seeing Zyra picked. You never really see it in Pro anymore, but this is not really a lane I want to be playing Zyra into. You can get a bit of harass into Leona. I'll be curious to see what Renio goes. I believe she's a Comet player. I'm much more of an Electrocute kind of Zyra myself. But the draft's going on a lot faster than I can talk about Zyra. So
yeah, I mean, we got the
continue to see what's going on.
We've obviously got the Nocturne as well, and Nocturne, you know what that's saying? It's saying, hey, I don't care what the rest of my map are doing. I'm going to be farming until 6. Okay, what? You've got an O10 bot lane? Yeah, nah, don't worry bot lane. I'll be there at 6. So I'm expecting one really passive jungler, one very aggressive jungler. Lee Sin going heavy in Lee Sin. Oh, no, no. Xin Zhao going heavy in...
Lee Xin? Oh no, Jin Zhao? Ah, that's all coming.
I mean, his ult does the same thing, right? Sort of. If you don't hit them, it kicks them away, sort of.
Zinsec.
I mean, I've seen some sick plays with that, but
yeah.
I mean, you got Leona this time around to go for the heavy engage. I guess they did ban that out the first time around. I didn't know that we had a Leona player on Yar, but I guess it's a good pick. And Xayah probably not going to do very well into that, because if Leona lands an engage, she's just going to get one shot. So
yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you know more about the matchup than me because you play Xayah a lot more, but it's already looking like a spicy one. We've got. I wonder what this pick's going to be here. Lissandra, they just. I guess he's just going, anything you can do, I can do better. That's just throwing it all out there. I wonder what the response is going to be here. Is it going to be the Lux? I'm going to assume, because that's the only champ I've seen them play, and I mentioned it 3 or 4 times and they still haven't picked it in any role, so please just prove me right.
Well, Yun being a Yone player, quite understandably. Oh my god, it's my lucky day. Let's go. My second most played champion is Zoe to the Zyra.
That sounds like such a...
Shout out to Haven. I'm not biased casting anymore. I'm sorry. I've coin flipped here this one. I've flip flopped on this one. I sure hope Haven wins this. I
mean, I sort of want Haven to win one. Okay, one, I get to cast for longer, and 2, I think it would be like a good. It would make the series last longer and be a bit more fun. But yeah, surely Zoe into Lissandra is a hopeless matchup, because Lissandra just always knows where you're going back to, and she can just throw her E to where you're going to land, so you can just get instantly rooted and blown up. So I feel like opting into that matchup seems a bit of a.
This is an awful game for Zoe. Not gonna lie. You can't kill Mundo ever. That's a fact.
What are you gonna do? Hit Xin through his ulti? Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Right? It's gonna be somewhat difficult to hit Xin. You have to be already ahead, but it's hard to get ahead against Lissandra, because Lissandra is typically kind of hard to kill in a lane, and I suspect Harry will be able to pilot around this matchup quite well. We've probably seen a lot of Zoe in his time playing.
I wonder if he's...
Poking in Ezreal is kind of difficult, because he, of course, can arcane shift away. With the Drowsy, it's super hard to connect. And, of course, he can put all of his skill shots where you're going. And it's the same for Ezreal. You just put a Zenith Blade where Zoe was, and she'll be there by the time it connects, as well as the Solar Flare. So Zoe's going to be super careful about this one. And I'm somewhat concerned for Nocturne, who hasn't got a lot of follow-up if he dives. So
basically, Haven Fangirl in OVU basically has cost them the game here, picking Xayah and Zoe. Both 2 bad matchups, both two of the worst picks into the team comp. Oh,
well, it's just a good point for me to advocate for those buffs. So either way, it works for me. I'll take what I can get. I'm just happy to be able to cast some of my favorite champions. But
I mean,
I just hope they have an alright performance.
I mean, they picked Volibear top into Mundo. That sounds like a horrendous matchup to me. I mean, what are you going to do? Charge at him for the stun, and then he goes... Oh yes, you can.
Okay.
Can you CC me?
Do that. You may negate my passive, and I'm going to pick it straight back up, and then I throw a cleaver for 300 into your face.
I don't even know where Nocturne goes here. The only place he can gank surely is bot when he hits 6, and even then, it's an Ezreal who's just going to try and E away from you. If the Ezreal still has flash,
which means you're killing Leona, right? That's your best target.
Yeah, and at that point, then Leona's just going to stand her ground, just go onto your bot lane. And Leona W does more than will probably do an insane amount of damage. So it's just like, it's a hopeless matchup for them. Like, if they win this, I'll eat my words. But like, come on, like if this game is played at like any higher level, this is just an instant like, well, we just FF at 5 minutes. You know, go next, because it just seems horrendous. And I guess my 2-0 prediction is going to be coming true very soon.
Yeah, we'll be curious to see though, right? Because you do have to track Nocturne ult. Whether he's going to be able to find ganks or not is a different matter. But when you're making plays and you don't consider a Nocturne showing up and a near sight, it can be quite disruptive. You can see they've taken away the Shen as well, because they don't want to play against double globals. Nocturne, of course, in team play, just being able to bring an extra member off core now is super powerful. So if they do want to make something happen, again, maybe this bot lane is looking like the place to do it, because it's the only place you're going to be able to stick onto a target. If you're able to combine the Chains of Corruption with the Zyra CC as well. Why I'm struggling to think of Zyra spells, I have no idea.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. It's only your main champ. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry.
I thought it was 500k. Don't sweat it.
But yeah,
you throw out the Stronghold Thorns of the plants, right? It's going to be hard to escape if the Ezreal and Leona find themselves pushing up the lane, right? Or if they're already put to half, as soon as Nocturne connects, he's going to find that damage. So even if Ezreal shifts away, there's still opportunity to find kills. I would expect Zoe, at least early, to be able to have shove in this lane as well. Lysandra spells cost a fair bit more. She's designed to be able to play her tower, so you're able to then roam once you enter the wave. So Zoe might be able to move first with Nocturne as well. There is opportunity for them to play earlier, which is what we criticized at the previous draft for.
Yeah, be intrigued to see if the Lysandra goes the Sapphire Crystal build, where they go Future Market in runes, so they can take Sapphire Crystal for their first item with you go refill pot or something, or you can just go 3 pots. But either way, then you can push I think it's the first 3 waves, right? If you hit decent CS in that, then you can then reset, get a cheetah reset, come back to lane, even TP back to lane, and you've got Lost Chapter. And Lost Chapter in that lane will just mean that you instantly win. I wonder if he's... You'll probably go... I've gone Comet. Yeah, Comet. Again, the Zoe. Barrier. I mean, come on. Come on here. Last game people just TP'd places, and you got left in the lane as Lysandra, and now Harry's showing up with Lysandra and going, hey, I don't need to go this. I don't need to go barrier to beat you. I'm just going to go TP and just play for other lanes. And
maybe it's been a while since they played Zoe, because of course Zoe can't pick up the TPs from minions anymore, sadly. That was incredibly broken, but also incredibly fun. I may or may not have abused that a couple of times, picking up a TP in the middle lane. So you're going to be stuck behind a TP disadvantage instead.
I mean, you could still just be lucky and land the redemption very early and get a free wave push.
You can't get those anymore either. You can't get redemptions. No, Zoe's a bad champion.
Thank God.
I want a redemption back.
That's why I've never seen her recently. That's why they got rid of everything.
They finally tuned the new items you can get as well. Most of the time, you're going to pick up a Smite or a Gold Drinker, pretty much, which is not amazing. You can pick up Prowler's Claw. That one's kind of fun. But most of the time, you Prowler's Claw into something that has their own Prowler's Claw, and they kill you. So. As we find ourselves onto the rift and into a pause.
I can't turn off chat, guys, so just ignore it's there, guys. Can I chat? Don't worry, boys. Chat's been removed, okay? Just because the spiciness of the waiting, I just think it's probably for the best that I try and disable that. Yeah, I mean, pause straight away. They said it's Wi-Fi problems, so hopefully soon we'll come back into it. Leona again going. That's a bit of an interesting one. Going stopwatch and dematerializes there. Really, in Korea they rush Zhonya's on supports like Leona, because you can do your combo Zhonya's after the time you come out Zhonya's, you've got your combo back up ready to CC chain again, and they believe that in their games that it's worth being able to get that second rotation off, but. I mean, Zaya's going. I've got the skills to carry this game by going Dark Harvest. That's what I'm expecting to see some things.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right, in this lane where you're playing Varus as well. So, assuming Varus is going to go Dirk and Poke build as well, you then have like a good amount of harass in this lane. I think the issue is getting really into range to do it, right? Because the only time Leona's going to put herself into range of you is when she's going to Zenith Blade and Hard Engage.
I wonder
so if you are winning the lane, I don't hate the Dark Harvest. I just feel like Electrocute is far much more reliable in getting to a position where you would proc Dark Harvest.
Yeah, but Dark Harvest does scale better, so it's like a mixture, right? And I don't know, but long pause here. Zoe Electrocute, probably not a great idea. I believe you're meant to go Airy nowadays on it to be able to get that poke.
I've pretty much always taken Airy. I've experimented with Spellbook. I tend not to take Electrocute because you pretty much have to use a summoner to proc it if you're using your ult.
Yeah, it seems a bit of an odd one there, and I can't imagine you getting that burst off in the lane very much. So
again, like you're pretty much relying on picking up a Spellbook or a bubble minion with their Spell Thief passive. There we go. I'm remembering my champions' names. Woo, let's go. So yeah, the Spell Thief's passive allows you to proc the more sparkles as well. So you can get Electrocute in lane, but it's pretty much any time that you get a bubble minion. And against Lysandra, if she engages on you.
Here we go. Okay.
We might not be able to get it. So here we are, onto the rift for game 2 of Team Yar in red and Team Haven here on blue side, swapping it around for this game. Maybe swapping around the score as well as last game. It was very much in favour.
Has my league frozen?
My league has frozen as well.
Have they done another pause?
It's possible. We'll wait and see for a little minute to see what happens. I think we've had this issue before. It's just a riot issue. You know, it's only a small riot indie company.
Yeah,
Have to forgive them some issue. Okay, we're back in. So it seems like Yar have a plan, and they're going to find themselves 5-man stacking into the bot lane.
Yep, definitely looking for an invade. Director's Cam just doesn't even notice it anymore, so that's fun times. Is Director's Cam broken? Nope. Oh, okay, it's fixed, boys. We got NA production here. Give us a little bit, and we get back into it. So they might catch Varus out here, who's sitting in a very precarious place.
Okay, they're going to walk up the long way here. They're going to find Varus here. Doesn't seem like he's paying attention. He's going to walk up the river instead, and he's going to find himself in between 5 people, and that's first blood here picked up for Ezreal.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping. What's he doing?
It's only almost 9.
How can a Leona walk up to you and hit a Q stun on you at that point? Crazy. Man's already thinking about what he's going to do after this game. Like, that's crazy.
He does get an exhaust for it though, so 400 gold for an exhaust is a fine price.
I would take burning exhaust to get tier on Ezreal this early so much. Look at that now. Like, the Ezreal's going to hit mana mute so fast that it's just going to be ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, and it gives him more poke in this lane as well, which if you're playing against poke champions, being able to, give tit for tat against a Varus and Zyra is probably quite important. They will have vision in on this bottom side though. Top side rather, spotting out Selene taking and starting on his red. It's going to discharge it here into the Krogs, just a short path for the wall. And yeah, here we are into the early stages of the game where it's going to be kind of quiet probably. Although that wasn't really true for last game. It was, again, around that 3-minute mark when both junglers kind of met.
Yeah,
this time we're starting on opposite sides.
Yeah, we got opposite path in here, so I'm surprised that Zin's path into both sides, but then again, he can't really influence the top matchup too much. So I'm hoping that he goes down, gets his bot side, and heads to mid. Nocturne, on the other hand, probably not going to be looking for a gank. He's probably just going to be farming, resetting, and then going next game. So, early level 2, engaged.
Oh, his Zen play level 2, as you say. Cleanse, instant proc there from Varus. Zyra having to start E in this lane as well, with the grasping roots. Oh, there we go. I'm getting better at it. Going to lock up Leona just about outside the tower range, I think. So
they're so scared. They're so scared. Look, they've gone cleanse, heal. I'm sorry, I just have never seen that combo before, except from on like a Lulu. Change lands, poke. Oof, nice. But...
Look at all that damage. God damn, it's almost like Leona is a more aggressive, damaging poke champion than Zyra is, because Zyra just sadly sucks at the moment. And oh god, she just doesn't do damage anymore. But yeah, it is what it is. Zyra going to be looking to get the most out of that Dark Harvest. Should they be able to get someone below their health?
Well, fire on the top side. Look at that stun comes through. Really stops that Mundo dead in his tracks. Able just to walk that one off. Gets an extra grass proc. Comes out a bit more healthy. Like, Conquer reverse grasp in this lane is fun times.
Yeah. Surprised the bubble minions spawn on the other lanes. I thought at least one's the vicinity that you're in. Well, it seems like Zoe's rolled the dice on top lane pretty well. If she was in that top lane with 2 bubble minions, that'd be hella pog.
Yeah, well,
maybe you should take TP so you could TP.
Yeah, TP.
Volley bear.
TP to get some sums. Zim going in here, knock it.
And Zim finds his audacious charge, flash, lock up, and plus the Zenith Blade here, and Varus is going to be absolutely deleted. As you're going to find another 3 gold on the back of that play as a couple of plants are spawned in the way.
Nice punish there by Leona's in there. Leona just flashing, just getting the tip of the Zenith Blade on it. That was very surprising.
And so he's going to find herself losing health for some minions here. Harry's finds a good advantage in this lane using corrupting potions over the Doran's Blade. Yeah, shoving in this lane as we got the jungle support synergy just rolling up here, trying to find Zoe backing, not going to find anything but Krug's missing and an opportunity to ward.
Stun goes through.
Finds a stun on here onto Mundo. Conqueror Proctor as well, he's just going to heal some of that damage back up. And here's a flash chomp here back from Volibear. He's going to find a cleaver in the back, as well as a tower shot in its back as well. But there's a back going to be coming through here for Mundo, pushed out. Or not, he's going to be able to catch this wave.
He can't brush you, he can't dive you, unless he lands a random E that you can't dodge with flash or walk out of. You're fine there. So overall, well played in the bot side there, just to be able to punish it. And yeah, bot lane,
we'll also
landing zones and stuff, and top lane. We're seeing the situation.
Here's a TP here from Harry Lisandre, going to find a way onto an exhausted Varus here, going to flash for the double root, just short here of Varus. Varus, of course, without a sound, not really going to get much out of it, but a flash here from Ezreal with the Q, just finds a way onto Varus as the Thrall's going to taunt Zyra. Yeah, woo, damage. Sadly unable to do anything here. No route to be able to connect that one.
Just slightly unlucky there from Harry being able to get that double route, but Ezreal flashing forwards just to stop that mistake from costing them the 300 gold, and very well played there. And Harry just destroying in this mid lane. Look at the CS advantage, and he's just been out of lane, you know, like,
yeah.
And he comes back to even more minions than Zoe. And look at the poke. That's just pretty much just going. You know, you played this champ last game. This is how you really play it. Like, you know, you got to actually land the stuff to make it the comic off. So
yeah, but it doesn't have chromas, so negative points for that. Come on, Harry. Yeah. Didn't even get it in the store though. Tap tap tap. But otherwise, good all around. Slowly making sure that he's getting his work done, finds a gank into bot lane. Harry picks up the second gank, making sure there's no summoners really available for this bot side. So this wave's going to be pushed in with no real threat.
I mean, it's a 20 CS advantage for Ezreal.
Mars. Wave hold by Slenny for Harry as well, being able to hold that CS. So both lanes across the board here in a CS advantage. Nocturne being the only one, contrary to that, who's found himself probably a camp's difference in the time that Slenny, one, held the wave for Harry, and two, found their gank into bot lane. And I think that was a point I didn't really quite get to make before. Was that Arbush on that Lee Sin wasn't really able to find his way into lanes. Granted, he did struggle after getting killed in the mid river quite early.
Yeah.
But Slenny looking to find himself in a bush here, and a gank on to Volibear, who has just ticked over to 6. Harry's on the way up, but they're going to spot this one. So Volibear already down to half, going to have to use the ult to get away. The Stormbreaker going to get knocked up on the other side of it. No unstoppable to break that one. He's just going to get absolutely slaughtered. Here's a level 5 Nocturne trying to find his way here onto the Zinzal. He is able to connect the last auto attacks to get there, but Harry's on the other side of this play. Mars is sure to come as well, so Nocturne's just going to flash his way out of that one. This one is going to absorb this wave. Harry's going to put this wave in as well, and Zoe not getting anything on the other side of the map. She runs up to the plate. Mars going to find this one and a bubble in the bush. Going to stun up Zoe, so she's unable to get too much other Drowsy. Going to probably electrocute into the outer shock, so it's not going to do much of anything.
I mean, look at the mechanics there from Zin as well. Knowing that the Volibear has to use ult to get out of there, and you can't knock up when he's using his ult, so you have to wait for it. Lands the W, gets the dash back to him just so he can get the knock up afterwards instead of losing the chance to knock up. And granted, it was great by Nocturne just to be able to get that trade kill back and get out with only having to burn the flash for him. Yeah. It's just an even trade overall, really, and Nocturne gets to catch a bit of extra, gets to catch a lot of farm there. So we're extending it now that he's 6. I'm expecting to see some ganks come through, but I'm just wondering who his target's going to be. It looks like he's starting from bot side to clear, so maybe he does go for this Ezreal, but where he's pushing in, so you're not going to be going for the dive, because after the last game, I don't want to see any more dives.
If you're keeping track of summoners, I should expect it to be maybe bot lane. Although, of course, Harry also hasn't got his flash available. I will point out that whilst Nocturne did catch some of that wave farm, that was the same farm that Zoe was missing in that mid lane that Volibear then picked up. As you see, there's already like a 30 CS difference between that Zoe and that Lissandra. I was concerned for the Zoe pick into this game, and if it's behind and it's going to be late to its lost chapter, and you can see there's already a Dark Seal and a Corrupting Potion difference and a Control Ward as well. So this mid lane's going to be probably extrapolating from here. We saw before that you point out is probably just a kind of a difference in the mid lane being able to bring the LeBlanc to all these different plays, and of course Lissandra, if she has the advantage of this matchup, can be doing the same thing that Lissandra wasn't doing last game. Zoe's looking to get her way out of this lane as well.
This is aggressive.
Losing a little bit. There's a great Drowsy there using just the curve of the wall, but the Zyra plants are going to break the Drowsy a little too early, so there's no follow up here onto that one.
That's a sad interaction.
Went a little wide as well.
Yeah, the Lissandra pick here really showing that Harry understands the champ way more than the Yoon guy, because he was able to get that TP play bot, made the most of it, as we're seeing in the aggressive play here in the top lane.
Yeah, the passive stunt here. Oh, and there's one in the bot lane as well. As the Ignite comes here down onto Zyra. She's going to pop the heal, but it's not going to be enough between all of the damage. She's just going to absolutely melt it.
Nice combo there from the Leona, just locking him up, just walking, thinking, oh, this is my tri-bush, I can defend the ward in it. Nope, you can't. Your Varus is in the tower, and the Ezreal's got 2 levels up, so, you know.
We might have a follow-up dive here. I will quickly note as Harry comes his way into the line. I'll hold it, in fact, because there's a flash chain of corruption here, quite nicely timed, but there's airspace is going to stop Leona getting rid of from that one. The cleanse is going to find itself on the back of the stun there for the daylight break.
Just out of range.
Lissandra ult is just out of range, finds it there with the frozen tomb inside, going to get enough damage with the whatever the W's called on the back end of it as well. Just about makes it out from the tower damage there. So
100 HP apiece.
Find ourselves backing on a ward, might be able to drop a max range plant into this bush. Not going to try it.
Go for it. Just all in. It's worth it.
Fun tip for any budding Zyra players out there. Budding, you catch that one? That was a good one. If you cast your Q at max range, you could then walk forward and place the plant further outside the range, so you can get a longer cast of your Q plan than you would normally. Your good old Thorn Spitters.
Or there's a much better tip. Just don't play Zyra, just play Brand instead. Works better.
Just play a champion that you can actually proc your Spell Thieves on. As you can see, JME BBK is going to get himself ahead with 3 wards on their support item ahead of Verania here on the Zyra. And I think that's 100 gold difference at least in support items, which is not what you'd expect playing into melee matchup. And here's going to get engaged here on by Lissandra, as you say. Sleepy Bubble Trouble finds its way onto Lissandra, but not going to find enough. As Slavey finds a flash W here onto the backside of it, but Nocturne's finding his first use of ultimate into this game. There's a TP following up this one as well. Mars are going to be late to this play, and Harry's just going to have to walk out of there. Slenny buying off quite a bit. Thought you could chew on that one, but Nocturne had different plans as Volibear shows up as well.
I mean, it's the first barrier that we've seen actually be worth using in the 2 games, and that time you netted us in for it. I'm not saying that that's worth taking it, but if you take the TP, you might have got kills otherwise. But the barrier coming up and saving her there, so allows the re-engage from the Nocturne. Volibear TPing down just for just as secure, just in case. But at the end of the day, not needed. So quite a good play by Haven here, just recovering slightly.
Yeah, it was a better look than we saw last game, right, where they had tools but didn't use them. This time they drafted some tools, and I said with this Nocturne, as soon as he hits 6, there's opportunity with these lanes that aren't going to be waiting to scale for them to find some picks, so that's what's happened. Nocturne now sitting quite comfortably at 2-0. As it is, the Solar Flare onto Varus, just going to sidestep that one, but not going to be able to get away from the Zenith player. There's an Arcane Shift forward here. So I'm able to pick this one up as the Stone Forms keep Harry in turret range there, and going to get locked up and Ian up there. So that's a 300 goal for Zyra. Woo! Zyra's on the board in a good way. That's what we like to see. Good use of the spells there just to make sure someone doesn't get 2 away for free.
I don't like the boots. Right, well, you're prioritizing lucidity boots as this matchup. Your ADC's got 5 deaths, and your whole team's there like, yes, let's go lucidity boots, yeah? Except for the Volibear, who's like, no, I'm not going boots until I finish my mythic. What is the... I don't know what the choice is here, but...
I'm not sure what the Codex is for, either.
It doesn't...
it doesn't build into the
Leandris, no.
items. Leandris doesn't build out a Codex, does it?
I think it does. Is that... or is it
it's chapter...
So it's that or it's
no, it might be Codex.
It's that or Ludens.
Oh no, okay. So yeah, Ludens is out of Rod, I believe. So Leandris will be out of...
Yeah, so it's like Leandris.
Fiendish Codex. So Leandris is going to be thing of choice here. Will Melt maybe Mundo. He's already got a Merc Dread, so
it's that or they can really go for a wild one and go...
Cosmic.
No, what's it called? Everfrost. Not really expecting it, but they do have a lot of dives, so you could probably make the most out of it.
It doesn't build out of... Everfrost builds out of...
Blasting as well, is it?
Not Blasting. It's a smaller Codex. The Kindle Gem, that's the word I'm looking for.
I thought it was a Kindle Gem and a Codex, but I might be wrong.
No, it's just the smaller book.
Oh, well, yeah. That shows you how much I build it as a support. Volibear just procking that, really setting it up there, really showing this matchup that they picked into the Mundo. I don't know. Seems a bit of a counter pick to me, and the Volley's having to go full damage here just to be able to like have a chance at winning lane, but me Mundo, me go tank, me no damage. So Herald's coming up here in the bot lane, hoping to cash in the skull, but they're going to get caught out.
Chain of Corruptions go wide as Zoe's going to have to flash away here from the Zinzao that was appearing in the bush. And there's a double TP here as well as the Solar Flare finds its way onto Zoe. He's not going to be able to get her way too far out. This one, ulting really seals your doom there. The Great Stranglethorns finds its way onto, well, 5 people, but it's only really half. Aristide will be stepping over the mark there. Yeah, responding to that Herald. Didn't really recognise it being taken. Oh, they did let the Herald charge, at least. Turret plating has fallen at the time that as a route finds its way onto Zyra, as she finds a route onto somebody else. There's a flash Zenith player, finds its way onto Nocturne, trying to get that shut down as Mundo comes in under the tower as well. Going to use the darkness to try and create a little bit of disruption here, but it's not going to stop the...
He's got cleanse, Leona. He's got cleanse. He's got cleanse.
He's got cleanse, Leona. He's not going to use it until the blade connects. He's just going to trade 1 for 1, and I don't think Zyra could do that much damage. But Leona definitely can, because she's a tank, and that makes sense. So yeah, great play here from Yar, extending the play, going to be trading kills. A little bit of a worth in the chat, I don't know if everyone can see that. Going to yield the Silver Drake as well.
I respect the Nocturne for ulting back in to the Ezreal ult, because, you know, sometimes life is just not on your side, right? You know, you think, oh, I'm going to dash away to try and avoid every form, Ezreal just slaps you and just goes, nope.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage finds its mark. Not
Go
today,
back.
son.
Go back. No.
Back to the shadows, the Fountain of Undoon. You shall not survive.
We're seeing less of a gold lead this time around, but still, you know, a substantial gold lead that this is pretty Yar favoured, let's be fair. It's quite hard to to sell this at this point, but there's still a way that they can get back in, but Haven has to find picks, has to find the right situations, and this Volibear...
Seems they are... Sorry, I was just going to say, it seems they're well set up for this Rift Herald. They are tied at a tower piece, and I feel like towers are normally a good indicator, so maybe Haven can look to try and get this Herald and maybe break open that bot tower, that mid tower, and give themselves some opportunity. That's what we need to do there.
Yeah, I mean, we got two Drakes stacked up on the one side. Mountain Soul being the thing. If they can get that Mountain Soul, I think it's GG, right? Like, you can't... No one can burst through that on their team. Ezreal's just living life now, and he's pretty...
Yeah, because Zarya has to have not only like the lowest base health, but the lowest movement speed in the game, because, you know, she does so much damage, but does less than a Leona. Sorry.
I don't know, she's pretty decent, but, like... the Ezreal here, sitting probably, what, 14... He needs 1400 gold to finish off Manamune. So he's feeling pretty good about himself. I'm sure he's caught 2 more waves, so he's probably pretty close to it now.
Yeah, quite quietly comfortable here at 303, as I think it was a solo for left line to get Mark onto Zoe as a root and Strangle. Once finds its way back onto Leona. She's going to get locked up here. No stopwatch available on that one, as Zinzao finds his way into the back line, going to be able to use the Crazy Guard to block away and kick up the Zoe on the backside. Finally, Nocturne's in range to pop the Darkness. I don't know where he's going to be coming from. I think he's already in the fight. Lissandra's going to be picking this one up with the throws and throws, as Munda's going to be starting tanking up the tower, and Ezreal's untouched and able to find not quite the mark this time with the True Shot Barrage onto the last target. So, yeah, getting what they thought was a pick, getting picked on, but it's still able to slap them with their wallets and their cleavers in the end.
I mean, Haven are very lucky to have turned that into just a 1 for 2, like, well, 2 for 1, sorry, but like they're very lucky that turned out that way. You know, Nocturne and Volibear living on about 300 HP, extremely close. But you know, yeah, I'll just go back straight to the Herald, start it up again. You know, he's still going to lose the objective. You did get a pick, but at the end of this on Leona, it wasn't a shutdown. Yeah, you got 300 gold and you gave up 600 gold. So, yeah, it's okay, but like, you're still down gold and you're giving them more, and
yeah, that's going to be
you lose the objective
Herald
anyway.
from the side of Yara as well. And now with the there's top tower remaining, it might be the case that Harry's able to walk this wave in and get that one. It doesn't seem anyone's really going to be able to answer. I don't think Varus is able to do much to Lissandra. Sat there at 106, has now completed the Duskblade, but I suspect with the Herald, Yara will be able to break open at least an outer tower, maybe a little bit more if they're able to find a fight to accompany it, to complement the taste and the palate.
I mean, this Varus isn't going to do damage for a long time now. I mean, yes, the poke build is normally better, but once you get camped this much, you die so many times over and over. Those Qs to go from being able to one-shot you to just... it's at the point where if you get hit by a Q, you go, oh, I didn't know that their support was, you know, playing... was hitting me, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's just not gonna be doing the popping that they need. And look, you're down a Manamune, and your tier's not even halfway stacked up. Like, this Varus is going to take a lot of time to get back into this game, and at that point, then the Ezreal's just going to be so much more scaled, and it'll do so much better in the late game. So unless they can land these picks, get these shutdowns, also this Varus, he's just going to be out of the game from now on. So.
Yeah, Charmander having a similar look. I think he finished 1-7 before on the Ashe, being punished in this bot lane. Somewhat of a repeat story, Zandiar being able to enable Mars to roam and bring friends when he comes back with a little bit of extra gold from attacking the other lane. So I think it seems like the advantages that Yar have been building in these other lanes have come to fruition in this bot lane. Of course, Zandiar sat 3-on-3. The first of those was that first blood onto Varus as well, so it's been a bit of a story for this bot lane. It's going to clear out this ward, Zoe's going to poke, but she's going to take more than she gives at this point, able to mitigate a lot of that damage, especially with the fruit that Leona. Change aggression finds its way onto Ezreal here, and a Darkness straight on top of it. That's a dead Ezreal. That 3-0 Ezreal is now looking at 3-1 with a shutdown here, landing onto this Nocturne. This Nocturne's been the pick for Haven so far this game. Sleeper Triple Bobble's going to find its mark short of Mundo, no negating the passive there as the vision in the river runs out from the skull. Zyra caught as well, Crescent Guard going to caught here, and the flash is end of play straight onto the backline here is Leona, but where is their damage? The Stranglethorn is going to keep Zin's out locked up, he's unable to get his damage worth out here. Leona going to be locked up and timed up as well.
Lysandra!
He's right straight into the back and is going to find the Frozen Tomb onto the backline. 3 penalties lock up, Mundo unable to be killed. Zin's going to be able to keep alive as well as they Leona not going to be able to find enough damage onto their carriers as Harry arrives to clean that fight up with the rest of Yar, and the Thralls just exploding on the back end. A triple kill for Mundo, and what a turnaround fight there for Yar.
I mean, yes, Mundo tanked so much damage in that fight and was pivotal, but Jesus, Harry going into the backline on that Lysandra, popping off, hit just pretty much one shot in their backline, then their backline turns into the passive, does the damage for you, and then just even more, and just really showing this pick off. And if I'm Haven, I'm not feeling good about this. You found the good fight for you. 4v5, it was looking super close, but the miracle of being so far ahead, and I mean, Lysandra just finding backline at that point. Crazy. Yeah,
Lysandra finding that TP straight in there with the claw and the Frozen Tomb onto herself after the explosion. Roots 3 people into the slow afterwards, and of course when there's a Mundo and a Zinzao that has somehow managed to survive the rest of the onslaught, you're just going to get run down not only by Mundo but also the Thralls, as you were saying. So what was looking like a great find for Haven is not really enough. They get some of the shutdown, they get a little bit more time. They don't get themselves the Drake. It's now 1 point away. Yar from Sol. Baron's now on the cards as well. So
yeah, if they
still suffering this 5k difference.
If they lose us at 4 minutes, it's GG.
Oh, sorry, face checking a bush. You could put a seed in there. That zone's not yours.
Passive park. Oh.
And there's why is it dead Zyra does more damage than a living Zyra? Ask Lysandra these
questions. Like a little bit of lag from Lysandra there, but come on, Nocturne, you've got a spell shield.
He's going to be looking at the darkness of the fountain afterwards. Does use the spell shield, but with 3 members there and a lot of CC, he's not going to be able to negate all of it.
He spell shielded the W.
On the backside of that pick.
Oh, there's 2 stuns. He spell shields the W. What is that?
Indeed.
Double control wolves. Extra secure, guys. There's definitely no vision there.
Just in case there's any vision deeper into the river. Going to try and find a pick here onto Mundo, but he's going to be negating that first piece of CC. Going to have to flash bowl, but it's going to be short. Maybe should have ulted to get that one to connect.
She has
going
2
to pop
flashes.
the ult as well. She might have 2 flashes, but I don't think she picked up the other one. So Mundo just going to be happily walking out of this one with the W movement speed. He's going to be charging that defibrillator, going to keep himself alive in that lane.
He's getting killed bot lane. You lost Baron.
2-man onslaught. Going to get the Baron. Going to look to maybe Sisha's tower, get some of the standing guard. I don't think it's going to really be enough. There is a TP available, but it's only for Zypher. So yeah, just going to concede this tower for Baron. It's a trade you take pretty much every time. Yeah, looking a little bit difficult for Haven. So what do they have to do? Well, they have a great sort of teamfight going. If you're able to connect the Stranglethorns now with the Leanne just completed on Zyra as well, you can get a good amount of AoE damage with the Chains of Corruption as well. Maybe a pick with a bubble onto Zandia like we saw before. But it's going to have to be under more and more difficult conditions as this gold lead grew from what was, I think, 5k, I called it a couple minutes ago, is now looking a lot more like 8 to 9k gold lead.
Yeah, the only way Haven can beat Yara at this point is coming back next season with a new roster, maybe buying a few higher elo players in and, really giving it a go, because at this point, they've been wiped both games. Look at
it's
this.
going to happen again. Zyra's just going to get 1 shot here. God gifted over here to Ezreal with advanced under
player tank support, please. Like, it's clearly not your thing. Oh, it's so painful.
Maybe you can use the seeds next time. The next time to clear the bush. I mean, it's the one good thing Zyra has in terms of utilities, being able to take a vicious score. But Mars going to get caught out here, but I think it's more of a bait as the rest of Yar's going to arrive with a TP here as well. Just about going to find the snipe there is Zoe with a late paddle start, going to connect it all the way back as the Mystic Shot's going to start coming in here onto Varus, who's not really a champion, as you mentioned before, not yet at the point where he's got his second item. Already down a Manamune and another Warhammer here for Ezreal.
I mean, the important thing to note is if the owner there got caught, took up so much time that a TP was able to channel, right? Xayah doesn't. She just dies in 2 seconds. Not even 0 point something seconds, right? And like, if the Leona had hit ulti, then they would have been traded. So it's just crazy that like this guy's picking Zyra, such a low HP member, into such a heavy dive team. I
think the Aftershock's done more than Leandre's Anguish at this point in game. And it is what it is, as the inhibitor's going to fall here in favor of Yacht. So Haven going to be having this channel now for Baron buffs. Siege minions to be coming in. So maybe Varus, maybe some of the other members can find a little bit of God. Volibear going to find some time in this bot lane, trying to make sure that if they are able to find something, it's on the back. He has TP available if they want to do something. They are just going to concede another tower here. So
nah, Volibear's tilted. He's just sitting on side lane. He's not happy. He wants his way out. His team's not FFing. He's just not happy. That definitely the situation here. And, they're going to get caught again.
Oh, here's a great spell shield response, but it's not going to be enough. Does manage to find time to pop the darkness and hit a route onto 2, but it's only just 1 because Mundo's passive is really fucking good. Zoe going to get caught up here.
Mundo.
Straight away. He goes where he pleases. It's a line you hear all the time. Zion not going to be able to get that one as well. His spell shield comes back up. I can shift over the wall along with the Zinzao and the TP just to follow. Volibear's arrived to the fight, but he's going to find his teammates now want to FF as the game's pretty much over. They're going to find themselves onto a second inhibitor.
Don't worry.
And see what Volibear can do. He's going to get chunked out here by a Mystic Shot. He's going to flash out in, but he's going to get Arcane shifted away from him. Absolutely locked up. God damn, he was CC. They wanted him dead. It's bear on the menu, boys, and it's inhibitors for dessert, and it's cherry on the top with the turrets and the nexus to continue. That's a 2-0. Sorry, I just read the chat. I should not have done that. 2-0 here for Yar as they finish this season. Sadly, not going to make it here to playoffs. Hence, Haven being denied their spot for playoffs as well.
Definitely a good way to end the season, though. In 2 heavy stomps here, and I feel like they must have enjoyed that one a bit more, Notice in the chat, there was quite clearly some rivalry in there, and winning those games always feels the best. And I don't know if we're going to get an interview at all, but I hope we do. But yeah, honestly, great all round. I think sometimes playing for certain lanes, probably they didn't play for the right lanes, but at the end of the day, you're winning the game, and I'm just casting over it. So what do I know? I mean, they just camped this Varus into just pretty much wanting to go next, and would rather be playing solo queue than playing in a 5v5 tournament at that point. So very well played overall.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Haven. They do seem like a very sporting bunch, and quite familiar and friendly as well. So shout out to you guys. Condolences for not making playoffs this time around. I know we've scrimmed them before, and they've been a great partner. So hopefully they can do maybe better in the next season. Sorry if Gizmo flamed you a little too hard, but it seems we're all on the same page a little bit banter. So it's good to see sportsmanship off the rift as well.
It's friendly banter, okay. If Yar were losing, I would do the same to them. Don't worry. It's completely fine. And if they want to reach out to me, I can help their team improve and all the rest of it. But it was good at points, but overall, it's just the rank difference that shine through, and champ proficiency on certain people were just overall just better, and
Yeah, and I think it was a good opportunity for Yar to showcase what they were capable of this year. Sadly, with the issues I think at the time, we had to sub one of the players for the teams that made playoffs. So maybe on a better day we could have won that one, and sadly we dropped the other series to 7-5-2, which we did also get to cast. If we won either of those games, we'd be in playoffs position instead. So being able to actually showcase, at least on this channel, what Yar can do, I know from their scrims that this is very much what they're capable of. Just great mid-jungle synergy, as well as Harry really just popping off, and of course the rest of the players doing definitely worth their salt. So yeah, I'm proud of the Yar guys. It's a shame that this one didn't go
I believe
all the distance.
We are going to hear from our team. I think they're going to join the chat in a minute. I just need to unlock the thing. But yeah, overall well played by
Sorry, I just realised I can pull everyone in.
Oh, and here we go, team. I have not got everyone's audio thing set up properly, but
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys. Welcome us.
Well, congrats on the wins, guys. Very well played. It seemed a bit easy towards the end, though. They had like 3 people focusing on Mundo. Mundo's just walking through them at that point, so it seems sort of easy, no?
We're just insane. What can we say?
Yeah, we just turned over a new page and bam, we're a new team.
We got rid of our tilt with a 2.5 week break, and now we're back. I genuinely hadn't played a single game in 2.5 weeks.
Based off chat, I'd said the tilt probably still there slightly, but a bit better.
Well, what did I say in chat?
I turned it off, but it was in Champs Select, well, before it seemed a bit spicy. So.
Oh no, we're friends with HH.
That's good then. It's good that you can have a bit of banter between them, and you stop them from being able to get through. So that's the important thing.
True, we ruined their playoff chances. We're so sorry.
There's still a chance. There could be a chance that you guys make it. I mean, I'm not too sure on that. But
apparently not, because we lost to 752A because they're Zig spot abusers. So.
I mean, brilliant champ though, isn't it? You've got to love that champ.
Yeah, I know, man. So annoying. Lol.
Is there anything you'd like to say about the games, or?
We had fun playing them.
I mean, it showed through with I mean, you've definitely been watching Helicopter recently, no? I mean, the flanks you were taking at times.
Oh man, that's what I'm all about, mate. Get Zand on something that can play safe, and me on something that can roam, and the magic happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's all support is nowadays. Just push roam.
That's why she should have picked Yumi, man. She just unlocked me.
I mean, but both times they picked squishy supports. It wasn't great, but and then they have. How do you rate your performance this season? Are you guys going to come back next Valanth season and try and perform harder? Get some, maybe get through to playoffs?
Four of us want to come back, and then we're just trying to convince our top laner to come back. I rate our performance really good at the start, fell off in the middle, and then picked up again towards the end. Well, our last game, we should have made playoffs, but for some reason in this split, people voted for only 2 teams to make playoffs, and in the next one, it's 4 teams. Oh, sorry, there's 2 divisions, 2 teams from each division, but next split it's 4 teams from each division, so we're almost guaranteed playoffs.
Yeah, that makes it a bit better, doesn't it? Because you get a little more chance to play against more a wider range of players instead of just being stuck in a small group and then not.
Yeah. Well, our group was really stacked. We've probably got the best teams in our group. If you want to include us, I don't know, but
I mean, you guys did well, and I mean, the games that you lost, well, obviously we missed a couple of casting them, but the ones that we saw, they were quite close at certain points, and they just turned at the 20-minute mark, and it was.
We lost 2 games, one to Team Rocket and one to 752A. Which one did you catch?
I think it was both of those.
Okay, yeah, those were our only 2 losses. I was in the jungle for Team Rocket because our jungler was selfish and went on holiday. So we all had to role swap.
No, yeah, I don't think we got to cast the Rocket game. We cast the 752.
And the Garen is the Garen.
Yes, the Garen game.
Oh, the Chronicles of Garen mid. What a game that was.
Yeah, great games. And I mean,
what a series.
I was definitely happy to see that you guys seem to be a lot more on the same page this time around. And I don't know if it was just based off being against a weaker opponent, but the last game it seemed like you were trying to some of the dives and stuff like that they weren't executed very well. You were trying to go for plays that other people were backing off and stuff like that. And this time it seemed like you were just all committing forward together or all retreating together, and it just seemed a bit more cohesive.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. They're probably not as good as 752A, even though they beat 752A. But when we were
very
playing
surprised about that.
Yeah, but we were super tilted in going into the 752A game.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of
mental
mindset.
reset.
Hell yeah. If you watched the C9 game yesterday, Perks was saying about how gold leads doesn't matter and it's all about the mental game at the end of the day. And I guess this time around you've gone in with a great mental and you've come out the other end with a free win.
Yeah, didn't Mad win with a 10k gold deficit or something?
I don't know. I don't think it was Mad playing C9.
Oh, was it? No.
No,
I mean,
the
Mad
previous
was
week.
rogue.
Yeah. I think it was closer to 8, but they definitely came back from a sizable deficit.
But I overall I think it's great, and I mean hope to see some improvement and come back next season, and hopefully I guess we'll still be in a position to cast it, and
hopefully
it'd be great fun. Maybe get a few more sponsors. I could do with a new chair. If anyone is listening, can hook us up.
Maybe the amount of pauses we can get a Kit Kat one as well. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, true. Do you want to become Fnatic? Anyone? Pause 30 times a game. I mean, there was a lot of pauses.
I never leave EsportsWales.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, great games, guys. I think we're going to try and end the stream soonish, but yeah, overall,
Awesome.
very well played.
Yeah.
I will thank you guys, of course, for playing and sticking out the split. Hopefully, all of you will decide to stick around and we can work with. Obviously, you guys are good. I've seen the screen feedback and I've now had a chance to watch some of these games, so I'm pretty excited about what you guys might be capable of for next split as well.
All right, cheers, guys. I was typing that.
Great to receive.
It's a team interview. I don't know why I'm the only one talking.
We just expect you to talk over everyone anyway, so we're not.
I guess that means we know who the shot caller is. So if anything goes wrong, we know who to blame, right?
The supports were in the pants in the team. That's what that is.
Oh, it's all Darian, mate.
Yeah.
And Ben. They're all Darian and Ben. Please bring Ben back. Peace out.
I've heard the jungler leads a lot of it, but he seems to be a bit quiet this game. But you know,
He's a monster in chat, in team chat.
That's
That's all you need to know.
Definitely. I mean, I felt sorry for him when he flashed forward on Xin Zhao to try and kill the Zoe, and the Zoe for the first time ever actually uses the barrier. So.
Did you see in the first game? Did you see our AD carries flash into the wall?
I saw you hex flash into a couple walls as well.
The top side, right?
No, I actually forgot about that. No.
It happened twice. We didn't know it happened twice.
There was also like the Alistair just hex flashing into a few walls as well. But you know, we don't need.
I'm a little rusty apparently on my hex flashes. Maybe I need to practice them for a couple hours.
It's not like they give you an indicator on it at all. It's all good. It's all good.
No, who knows, mate? Anything can happen.
I definitely think that in this last game they sort of counterpicked themselves picking certain matchups, right? You know, you got the volley into the Munda. I don't know what they were thinking there, and then you got who picks Zoe into Lissandra. Lissandra just instant wins that matchup every time. So they just
and Leona.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like they just lost the game in draft every game as well. But anyway, I think we're going to call it there for today's stream, guys. Thanks for coming and supporting the season. Hopefully we'll be back soon and hopefully continue this form.
Yeah, I think sign-ups for next split's already up, so it shouldn't be too long. There'll probably be a gap for playoffs, and then probably maybe a week or two before the next split starts. There'll be information, of course, on Twitter probably once we confirm you guys are playing again.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I got a message, but yeah, mentality like a sieve. That's why I don't play. But yeah, thank you guys for playing. Of course, thank everyone for watching. Of course, thanks to HyperX who have already sponsored us and provided us with some mics to make sure that what we do bring you is at least crisp. When I do talk and not absolutely dip out. So yeah, that'll probably be it for the stream. So again, thanks for watching. Probably see you guys next time.